Yeah, we've got a good number of people, so I think we can kick things off. And shall I hand over to you, bro? Because you had a couple of points in the agenda that I think you added to that. So why don't you go ahead with those?
Well, first of all, we need to find some good questions for the Corget developers. I didn't invite them yet. I'll do that today. Hope they can join our next call. And I do want to invite also someone from the mining community, just to have that balance and have more opinions and questions.
So would that
And
be the same call or separate calls?
I think the same call. I think it will go better.
Okay, as long as we can get them all on the same page, if availability works out, then that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about the hour. Basically, we need to move the hour if they both can make it at our preset time.
Yeah, I think we can manage that. And you mentioned you wanted to invite two developers, right? One from Besu and one from Geth.
No, just from Geth for now. We can keep the core developer from Besu, Diego. We can maybe have him after the fork, after after the Mystic fork.
When's that again? The Mystique Fork? I forgot.
It's on 10th of February, February
Oh
10th.
shit, that's quick. Awesome.
Sounds good. You wanted to say something, Donald?
Nope.
Okay,
Sorry for making a noise.
no problem. You had some other points, Brolal, about testing new applications.
Yeah, I was thinking talking to Omi, the Discord administrator, and make a new role for the most advanced users that are willing to help test the apps that we already have in the environment. And I don't know, maybe we can make a team, a few people team that can test new stuff and see if they are scammy or not. The idea is to mm, to have a team to test new stuffs or old stuff from the environment. So for this, the guy from Hebe said he can help. I think Dirty Rasky can also help. I also want to get involved in this just to learn new stuff, and maybe others will join.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that as well. Um, so basically, what you mean is that when you say looking at dApps and stuff like that, it's smart contract security and stuff like that to an extent, correct?
Yes, that's the more advanced look of it, but depends on each person how much they can participate and what knowledge they can offer. For for me personally, I think reviewing applications would be beneficial for the community.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave my points for the open discussion, but let's keep it on it with the agenda.
I think that's a really good idea and something that could be it'll be a very good service, especially if there's some kind of like badge of certification for certain apps that have been at least having a bare minimum level of like auditing per se.
Yep.
Another idea is to have some kind of checklist that's like, is this open source? Can we audit the code? Is there a test suite, etc., etc. That is not necessarily on a per project basis, but just like a general checklist that we can make sure this project is at least okay. But yeah, definitely having that would be awesome, Brolal. And even to build on top of that, you could have a smart contract registry on Ethereum Classic that is like saying that these applications based on the contract address are somewhat checked by us. or by some group.
I'll talk more about that later. I kind of have the solution for that. What's next on the agenda, boys?
I just want to add that maybe we should also take in consideration the fact that when a new DApp is made, we should basically test it before we add it to the website. So, like having a review first, and then maybe push it on the website.
Yeah, I have been thinking about this, and I wanted to try and make it as open as possible, and at the same time make it so people are aware that there is either auditing going on or no auditing going on, such that if anyone sees something that's submitted on the website and there's a link that goes to a potential scam, there's plenty of warnings and saying that this thing is not checked if it's not checked. And if it is checked, then it can have a badge saying it's been checked. But I think having the problem is getting into the gatekeeping of saying, oh, unless it's gone through us, we're not going to list it. And I think that's potentially opening the door to very difficult decisions.
It's true. We should also see if Bob wants to get involved in this.
I think this idea could even be potential profitable exercise, right?
Yeah, I agree. Its own project, kind of what I'm working on. But as I said, I'll talk about it later. I want to get on with the agenda. I know you guys have some important stuff.
Feel free to jump in now. It's very open and malleable discussion. So if you want to add something, go ahead.
All right. So basically, you guys probably all know about the death of Classics. Very unfortunate. Hebe Swap did sweep in, and they launched like 2 days after we were supposed to. So very great on them. They are my successor. So I'm very for the Hebe Swap. So anyone, don't get confused. I love their project. They took my idea and they went for it. They haven't seemed to make it very profitable for themselves, except for, like, I was talking to Zhang yesterday, that he's the head guy, I'm pretty sure. And they have a crowd sale or like some sort of sale of their Hebe token, but like it's manual. Like they're sending tokens to an address, and then they have to have someone from the team go and send them. Like I was telling him about how you need to turn this into a smart contract. This is not how blockchain works. You have to have that stuff. And he's like, oh well, we could do it, but so I kind of went off with that. And so, as I said, I'm working on a new project called Soteria Smart Contracts, and it's basically like an all-in-one smart contract project, mainly for ETC. But if somebody wants to be audited outside, we'll take that on. But the idea is that any project that does end up on ETC, if they haven't gotten the clear from Soteria, people should be skeptical of that. And it's like smart contract auditing, like you would see in many other places. But we have a few things that we want to add, which is one of the main things is using NFTs for something other than collectibles. So what I want to do is basically a smart contract that has been audited. We will mint an NFT from a separate smart contract, which will have a link to the audit of the smart contract in question, and send it to this smart contract that has been audited. That way, if somebody wants to make sure that a smart contract on ETC that has a lot of money going through it has been audited, they can go and simply just look at that NFT, and they can see, they can click on the link and open up the entire the audit, which will be in detail like any other audit. I'm very good at Solidity, so this is going to be a breeze for me for that. So basically, let me go back to Hebe Swap. I was talking with Zhang, and I told him that for like $100, because I have to pay some guys that I'm working with. We'll do a full audit of all your smart contracts, which is usually this costs $4,000, right? So I told him, we do, because I want to get my project off the ground. I need someone like a project to work with that's going to want to cooperate, because it's a lot easier to do a smart contract audit when cooperating with the people who actually deploy the smart contracts, if you have any questions. But I told him that, and he said he'll look at it. And then he comes to the DTC Discord server today and he's like, oh, well, we don't need to do an audit. We're an experienced team. And that's just not how it works. You have to have, what do you call it? A peer review. So I still probably will try especially if they do make their code public and actually verify their smart contracts on the blockchain website. I'll probably still do it, even though I'm not getting paid. I just need to make a name for my new project, which you're going to hear a lot more in the future. I just thought I'd bring it up. But if somebody if one of you guys, you were talking about a new team for this kind of thing for DApp security and stuff like that, I don't see why you shouldn't come and work with me to make security on ETC and outside as well. But for now, mainly on ETC. Your best place to go is me.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm sure everyone listening in will.
Sorry, I went on and on. I just do this all the time. You see
no
my
worries.
interviews.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's good for this this kind of call. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly the kind of project that I think is going to be useful in the ETC ecosystem. So, yeah, good on you for doing that. Did you have any thoughts on that, Brolo?
Well, I agree with him. I think if you are good at this stuff, I'm like noobish with Solidity, just getting started. I think you should lead this project because we don't really have anyone right now who is available for this kind of work. So I think you should do it, and where you need help, and I don't know, when you need someone else to ask questions or find answers, or we'll try to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And also on my side, in terms of as we discussed previously, with the having some kind of badge on the applications on the website, if there is an active auditing team that's working and has, well, if it's on chain, then I can just talk directly to the contract to check if the address matches. So it would be pretty easy to display something like that. So yeah, we can work together on that.
Yeah, and it's also, but adapt can be misleading because they can use a specific smart contract that they say they're using, but you have to be able to verify that it's actually the right one. So it's actually, there's many layers when it comes to this kind of thing. But the whole point is like a full project audit, making sure that everyone is within their boundaries. But when a team goes out of their way to get an audit in the first place, usually is a big green flag. Once that audit is finished and is given all the greens, there's really not much chance there being underlying scam or rug pull after that. So I think that's important, especially with all the NFT stuff coming out. Like there's a lot of kind of, I don't know, like especially the new Zunk ones. It's kind of in and out about how that whole thing's working. But to be honest with you, NFTs, they're already, like, the thing is, when I look at the NFT projects on ETC, I see that when they're minting the NFTs, the ETC goes directly to the devs, and no one had an issue with that. If people are for that, so be it. What am I to say? But I think it should be a little bit more, rigorous, and money's not always going straight to devs and backing some of that value. I'm actually very surprised that ETC punks, they're still selling for 2.5 ETC each, even though they're not selling that much. So it's kind of an interesting alley that people have gone with NFTs. But as I said, with Hebe swap, there's a new opportunity now, which is that anyone can go and make a token. And so there's going to be two main spots when it comes to this. Is the first person to make a shit coin, they're going to have massive success. And then there's a first person to make an actual project that has a token for uses. So I'm going to look into doing that with my new project, make a good token for that. There's still a lot of unknowns because if I'm going to do that, I want to make sure that it has an actual function. It's not just some valueless piece of crap like all the shit coins of a BSC. But if one of you guys here who did the NFT stuff and wants to make a quick buck, go and deploy an ERC20 and just throw it around the place, and that's gonna get some hits for sure.
So is Hebe Swap live now and operating on ETC, and what's the market like at the moment in terms of liquidity and actual listings?
Yes, so I'm not representing Hebe, but I do know about them because I took my time. Yeah, so they are launched on ETC, so it's exactly what Classic Swap aspired to be. It's literally Uniswap V2, which is what we were going to do. So that's there now, and you can go make your own pairs. As for liquidity, there's only one actual pair with anything more than like $2 in it, which is the Hebe to ETC, which has, I think it was like 500 ETC at last time I checked. It all seems to be coming in from their manual crowd sale. It's kind of all a little bit unorganized, and it's actually kind of surprising because they do have an underlying project, Hebe Swap. They have like a Hebe wallet, which actually looks pretty interesting, and it has like literally over 50,000 users. I'm not exactly sure how many of those are returning, and I don't think they have the data on that. But it's still kind of interesting to see that they have a great underlying project, but this one, it kind of came out of the blue, and there seems to lack some organization. But it doesn't matter because it's a DEX on ETC, right? People can still use it the same way as long as they get audited or have someone do a peer review process, which I'm probably going to do as soon as they actually put their code where it should be. Then yeah, I would definitely take a look into that.
Yeah, that sounds promising, and it's good that that has finally landed on ETC. But yeah, from my perspective, I would personally not use any application that's not open source, especially a DApp like that.
Did they publish their source code for?
No.
No, they haven't yet.
So we don't know if it's just Uniswap v2. It could be a custom thing.
It could no. So we do know it's Uniswap v2, but we don't know if there's malicious code. So we can't know until they publish the code, and then they have someone who's good at Solidity review it, because most, maybe 1 in 1,000 people who are going to look at it are actually going to know what they're looking at and seeing those kind of things. So they need a trusted third party who's able to go in detail about every single function and see how everything connects together. But yeah, the first thing, if there's anything, if once they put their code out, the first thing, if I find anything kind of a little bit sus, ETC community right here in the Discord is going to be first to know. Right now, I deem it safe enough. If you're going to play around with a few $100s just to see how it all works, and if you want to make your own token, I think that's going to there's financial opportunity in that. But yeah, as I said, we have to wait until they publish their code and stuff like that. And if they start delaying that code publishing, I would, I really want a DEX on ETC, but Classic Swap was going to be fully, audited before launch, the whole thing. And these guys come out of the blue, and we don't even have their source code. So I would just be careful.
Yeah, to me,
around that.
I don't see any reason why they would not have published the source code already, because that seems like just a standard thing that you would do anyway. Like, why wouldn't it just be, because you can verify the source code on various like explorers, right? As far as I understand. So
yeah,
that should have been done already, I would assume, before publishing it.
I agree 100%.
Okay, well, I guess maybe we'll stay with an open mind, but a very cautious approach to this one until we know more, is my perspective.
Absolutely. That's the best approach.
Maybe we should also get Ross involved. I know that he is also a Solidity developer.
Russ or Rusky? Which one?
Ross.
Russ. Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna work with Russ. He's really good at Solidity. Have you seen his? Oh man, he built like a super complex dApp, some sort of storytelling thing, and he thought that no one would figure it out, and he bet me like $2,000 that you wouldn't be able to figure it out. 15 minutes later, I'd come and I'd like add it to his story. He couldn't believe it. Anyway.
Yeah, he's been around here for a year or so on Discord. He also made a betting website where you can bet on football games. So
Yeah, I
that
saw
caught
that.
my
Pretty
eye.
interesting.
But the game, I didn't try it. I other games.
Yeah, no, it's very, very complicated, and I didn't really understood it. I just pressed buttons until something happened. So it's just yeah. No,
Yeah.
but he's got a good mind. He knows what he's doing. I just think his ideas are a little bit in the future. The average person is a lot dumber than one might think. So yeah, be careful. But yeah,
Thank you.
I think Rust is a great asset to ECC. Just solidity. I don't. The thing is I wish that I could just build the smart contract, build the DApp, and connect it all together and make one beautiful DApp. But I can do solidity. I can do it with my eyes closed. But as soon as you hit the front end, it's like the front end of my brain just slaps right into a wall. It's just not for me.
We
Anyway.
should definitely make a call, a future call about this audit team. I have that on the agenda, and maybe make it a specific call about this.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I will, if anyone here is interested in hearing more about that, just send me a DM. I'll send you a Discord server in the next few days, where I'll be publishing all the updates for that. My goal is to have that. Well, there's no such thing as up and running. It's not like a text, but like up and ready to audit any team, any project in about a week or two. As you guys know, I'm still still in high school, right? But I'm in Canada, so we're going back online until January 21st at the minimum. So me and online school, we have a great relationship. I don't do shit at school, and I last year actually during online school was when I first conceptualized my first project based on blockchain based project. It was Wrap Litecoin. Man, I remember the old days. Anyways, that fell through, but lots of stuff happened after that, and one thing leads to another, and here I am with the audit thing after the death of maybe $1 million idea, which was. So, yeah.
Okay, stop making us feel old.
I'm sorry, my bad. So, what is the big thing with Mystique upgrade? What's the number one addition?
I believe it's mostly compatibility things with Ethereum, and it's implementing a kind of muted version of the one of Ethereum's recent sort of economic gadget changes.
Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, I'll take a look for sure. Thanks.
As far as I know, there's no new feature updates per se. It's mostly just compatibility.
An update's an update.
Speaking of updates, the website is coming along, and the content is getting added slowly but surely. And I'm currently in the process of running a 99 designs competition for the front end, for the front landing page. So in the next few days, I will be updating the website channel with a link to some different options for the front end. So basically 99 Designs is this service that will get a bunch of people to submit different designs. And I want to open up the decision making of which design is the winner to the community. So there'll be an opportunity for people to look in and to cast their vote on that. So check out the website channel in due course, but I'll update the general chat for that as well.
How many designs have already been submitted?
So far there's about 35 designs, and of those 35, there's maybe 6 that are reasonable, and there's another 3 days left to go. So there's a good number.
Are they all from you, or are they from other people?
No, they're from other people.
And is there like a prize to this thing? I don't do front end, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to go and try to.
Yeah, it's a funded thing.
Okay, I see. Well, awesome. I'll take a look into that. Yeah, hopefully you. So, who was it? You that was building the new website last time we had that call? It was like a month ago.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm currently working on content, as in the articles. So a lot of writing, as opposed to what I'm used to, which is front end web development. So It's taking slightly longer than I was anticipating, but I'd rather get it right.
If you need any help with photos or videos, and I'm referring here with stock footage, I made a subscription to Motion Array. They have some cool stuff there. If you need, I'll just send you a few links so you can see them, and I can download them and send it to you.
Thanks for the offer. Would this be for as part of just source material for editing videos, or like a full video for some? Because I'm hoping eventually to get some of these longer articles sort of turned into a video and animated in some way to make it easier to digest for people.
I think I can do that. I can do the editing, but we should settle on a script, so I don't go wild and do what I think. We should have like a few bullet points and work something out from there.
Yeah, we can probably find some kind of voiceover from like Upwork or Fiverr or whatever, and then maybe you could help with the editing and just put the voiceover to some pictures and imagery.
Yeah, a voiceover is necessary. Maybe someone with a British accent or something like that.
Yes,
we
because
can
British accents are safer. Everyone is calm.
also. I forgot what I wanted to say.
Okay, I'm just gonna say goodbye, everyone. Thank you for the call. I'm gonna go answer my job.
Thanks. One of your points, bro, was about testing older applications from the environment. Does that refer to Ethereum Classic already like old deployed apps?
Yes, I saw on the website there are a few games there, weird games, some other DeFi stuff. I've only tested a few, but we should double check them to see if they are still live and are workable. So
Yeah. I think
the idea is I'm expecting new floods of people joining crypto. So next year we should see a boom, and I want those people to, I don't know, when they see the site and want to try something, to be sure that that's something that the app or what's on the website works.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that there's a couple of problems. One is that it's difficult to constantly monitor this because obviously over time things will randomly just stop working. And unless we're always like every month checking, is this thing live or is every app live, we're going to miss some stuff for sure. And the other thing is that I would ideally like to have a way of archiving, even if they've gone offline, just as a proof that they did exist at some point. And Ethereum, these applications might not be working now, but they were here at some point. So as opposed to just removing them entirely, maybe having just a flag to say they're not working anymore and don't bother using them, but they used to work.
Yes, the archive, it's a good idea.
Right, but then the archive would not be appearing at the top of the list, for example.
How about the text? I saw that you have mentioned Donald. If he can review it. Can we find other persons who can do it? Like have more people?
For sure. The whole process is completely open to anyone that wants to contribute. So it's anyone can have a go. I'm also planning potentially to get some third-party proofreaders just to make sure everything's good. But if at any point anyone wants to contribute, feel free.
Is there the mock-up of the site or?
Yep. If we it's still WIP, but I'll paste the link in the community calls notes channel just now. One sec.
So we can go checking out the new website as it progresses.
Yeah, that's correct. I just pasted the link. And yeah, as I mentioned, the landing page is currently just like a placeholder, but that's going to be looking quite nice afterwards. I also plan to do like a very sort of low stakes bounty in terms of trying to incentivize content to be contributed to the site. Because I know there's a lot of videos and blog articles that are getting posted around the internet, but it's kind of difficult to get people to make pull requests because not everyone understands GitHub. So I'm planning to do like a little video tutorial of how to do that, as well as an incentivization in terms of if you submit a video, you get 0.01 ETC or something like that.
YouTube will boom.
Sorry, what was that?
The YouTube will boom with etc videos.
That's the idea. I think there's so much like low-hanging fruit that just a tiny bit of funding would make a huge difference towards, and that's just an example of that, right? People love airdrops and stuff, so
Yes, exactly. It's a good idea to find a minimum way to incentivize work that is being done for the network.
there'll also be a bounty for translations. So once the English version of the site is pretty much finalized, I think we can start the next phase, which would be the whole internationalization process, which we tried before but was kind of complicated. But this time we're going to be using Crowdin, which is a third-party translation platform that will make it a lot easier, and is fairly sort of common usage. And yeah, Donald, if at any point you have any suggestions in terms of overall sort of vision of how the content is laid out and or different approaches to leading people into the whole story.
The website looks very nice. And so this is going to replace the current one on ethereumclassic.org.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out in more detail. I have one suggestion regarding these calls. I think that I have the impression, and I had this impression since 2018 when I started to work on ETC, that Discord is a little bit closed because it's by invitation. People need to have the link to come in, and they have to be authorized to get in. So it's less open than, say, Twitter. And GitHub, I think, website for developers, people with more technical skills. So to today's call on the GitHub, the announcement, it doesn't have the link to the Discord. A series of
that is a good
hurdles
point
that one has to go through arrive here. I think that if this call could, I don't know, maybe use YouTube or Twitter Spaces. It's more open. You just post it and people just click and go because everybody's there on Twitter or Facebook. I don't know which is better, but something more open. And instead of the announcement being on GitHub, which I think is for advanced people who know these things, maybe it could be the home of the website of ethereumclassic.org, and with links, clear links to go there. Make it easy for people to reach the call. Suggestion.
Yes, yes, you are right. I was thinking of that also. I have an idea of how to make it more popular. Having a sort of promo, a community called promo, that people can watch on YouTube and then click the link, something like that. But I'm still thinking how we should do it.
So one option is to just add a redirect on the main Ethereum Classic website. So like Ethereum Classic / whatever will redirect, and we can control that redirect pretty easily.
Oh, there's another topic that here Rarager brought to my attention, and I think we should talk about this. But well, let's finish the communication parts.
I think unless there's something that you wanted to add, bro, but from my side, I think it's definitely something that will be included in the next version of the website. And there's already a place for like events that's in placeholder mode. So yeah, we will add that into the front page as well to make sure people can find it. And also, if we find a better idea in terms of, I mean, the only reason we're using Discord and GitHub is because it was already there and it was easy to pick up. But if there's a better option, then I'm open to it. My only concern is that I don't have a Twitter or a Facebook account, so I might not be able to join on those platforms.
Then we have to do it somewhere where we all.
It would be cool if there was an actual open platform, like a self-hosted Jitsi instance that anyone can join, for example. So we could look at that. I think that's a good idea. And even Discord requires you to log in and stuff, so it would be better if there was no login requirements at all.
The main problem is we as a community don't have access to Ethereum Classic accounts, Twitter accounts, or other stuff like that. So we rely on our accounts to publish things. And it's not like we can all sync and, I don't know, have 50 accounts pushing one information all together on Twitter or Facebook or other platforms. So it's rather difficult, but it can be done. It can be done in some way.
Yeah, I guess that's just the nature of decentralization. We have to make do, but it's a trade-off that I think is worth it.
We're talking here about two things. One is where the call is and how easy it is to access it. Just with a link, you just go and enter. So that's where I say it's difficult to go to GitHub. It's difficult to go into Discord if you're someone from the outside. No, you're not already inside. So this restricts access. And then a separate issue is how to communicate it. So we have to separate those two concepts. Both have to be good, no, as best as possible.
Yep. I'm not following.
Regarding the ETC large social media accounts, I think that if I think about which are those, one of course is F Classic on Twitter that has 600,000 followers, and the only other one that I can think that makes more noise is ETC Co-op. A lot of people pay attention to that one, but I don't know if there's others. But in terms of Eth Classic, I would just assume that the account is uncontrollable. It's owned by IOHK. Apparently, they even lost the access to that account. So and there's only one person that has indirect access through TweetDeck. But they can't do anything other than tweet. They can't change the profile. They can't change the admin or anything. So it's very unfortunate because it was the big account since the beginning. But I think we're going to have to deal with the reality that we have to build a community again on social media.
Sounds fine with me. I mean, a lot of the followers of the old account, of the big accounts, are relevant, but maybe not as active as they would be for this new wave of participants. So it's not necessarily like a huge loss. Although, of course, it would be great if that account could be handed to, someone that can do something with it. Should we move to the question you talked about earlier, Donald?
Yes. If you go to the community fund chat room, I don't know how it's channel, you're gonna see that there's lately a conversation about there's some sort of doubt whether the Mutisig wallet or smart contract where the money is, which is 10,000 ETC, if that Mutisig wallet or contract still works, because I think it was started in 2016 and many people donated money. It was a public thing. Everybody wanted to help ETC, and a lot of people sent money. Even the DAO hacker sent, I think, money to that fund. And they established the Mutisig wallet, and there's 5 or 6 people who are part of the Mutisig. And one of them, I think, is Cody Burns. He is the one who started the conversation saying we should test it to see if it still works. And if it still works, we should move it to a new contract, because the doubt is that since 2016, there's been so many hard forks trying to keep up with the EVM standard and Ethereum. Sometimes a small percentage of contracts may break, so it should be tested. In particular, I think that that fund is extremely important for ETC because it has 16,000 ETC, and it could perfectly be worth $16 million in the near future, and even $80 million in the medium term or longer term, by the end of the decade or something. If we make ETC successful as we believe we can do, and our goals, this is going to be a huge source of funding for core and infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's very important for me to bring this, and thank you very much, GR or Rarager, for bringing this to the attention.
Thanks for bringing this up. I think in terms of compatibility, I suspect it's going to be fine, mostly because if there was that kind of bug, and those contracts are usually pretty standard, and upgrades would typically design to make sure that backwards compatibility is maintained. And even if it wasn't, I think there's a strong case to say that, code is law, and it's ETC's job to make sure that contract always works. So in the future, there should be a hard fork to make sure it does work if something in the past has caused it not to work. So versioning, for example.
Yeah, the only thing was that Cody Burns brought this issue of testing it just in case.
Right. I think the testing is not necessarily about the contract itself, but more about the social element to it and whether the people with the keys still have access to the keys.
Okay, that too, yeah. Good. Yeah, that's another thing. It's a very informal fund. It is definitely a community fund. So even though there's 5 people who control it or 6, this was absolutely open thing, and many people sent money. So, yeah. For example, an entity like the ETC Co-op, it's just we can agree that, or we could see it as a private donation by Barry, so they can do whatever they want, and it's great. But this is even more public now, so I think it's of concern, especially because we talk about the funding issue frequently, and we have attacks with treasuries and stuff like that to solve this phantom problem that we supposedly have. That little fund can be a very big fund in the future. So if there's any threat, it would be great. Just this is just to raise the attention to the issue. It would be great if the signatories can be found and to test it and see if everything's fine.
I very much agree, and I think it might be a good idea to get Cody on as a guest in a future chat so we can chat about this if he's available.
Okay, good.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe somewhere at the end of the month, if he's free.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying to get guests lined up to a date in advance, like at least a week in advance, so we have time to collect questions from the audience, from the community, and do the same kind of format we did with Bob.
Yeah, I like that also.
But yeah, this is a fairly important thing, and it has not been tested ever, I believe. The signatures were just, maybe they did it once to make sure it worked, but since the creation of that contract, it's never actually had funds removed from it. So it will be a long time coming. And yeah, the biggest threat is people have lost their keys or just have radio silence.
Well, if they lose the money, we can do an irregular state change. What do you think? That was a joke.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Who didn't get it?
I'm still laughing.
Don't make me write another article.
Yes. Ethereum classic.
Classic all the way down.
Classic vintage.
By the way, I was looking earlier at some old Reddit posts, and it seems like it might have been Vitalik himself that dubbed it Ethereum Classic in terms of the first time it was called that.
That would be very funny. Appropriate, because in truth he's the founder.
True. So yeah, I'll try and reach out to Cody and see if he can join us in a future call, and if we can liaise with the Geth and Minor Guys Bro, then if they can't join us, then maybe we can get him on a date earlier.
I was thinking after the Geth talk, because it's January, we should well, I can try to get the guy that makes technical analysis, because at the first part of the year, many people, many investors are looking up products to invest. So I was thinking having a talk about fundamental analysis and technical analysis with him and see how that goes.
Maybe we should make some sort of like a Google document or a spreadsheet or something that's easy for people to work with, that's not GitHub, so we can collaborate on these potential ideas, because we're coming up with a lot of good stuff, but we need to sort of note this down and have a central point that we can all edit and refer to. Do all of us use Google Docs?
I do.
I do.
Okay, I guess that's easier to use than GitHub, so might be a good thing, at least for just planning these calls.
We can still use GitHub to just have that internal stuff going on, and then have something more open.
Okay, cool. Well, in any case, I'll listen to the recording of this and make some action points that we can work on next week. And we are coming up to the hour, so we can move to the open discussion. If anyone has anything to bring to the table, feel free to go now.
I am alarmed about Hebe not being open source.
Yeah, for me that's a huge red flag, and I've seen far less suspicious things that have turned out to be scams. So I'll be very wary of that.
Yesterday I tweeted I was happy about Hebe swap and Boof swap. I don't know if anybody knows Boof swap. Is it open? Is it less sketchy? But I'm going to tweet today for people not to use Hebe until it's fully open.
They said they will share the code, so let's wait a few days.
It's worth as 0. It's already there. Nobody should send 1 cent there.
Well, luckily there's no market, so it's pretty useless at this point anyway. So
yeah, I can think that someone says, "Oh, this is amazing! I'm going to start a liquidity pool," and they put money and the 2 assets, and suddenly they disappear.
Yeah.
So no, this is huge, especially because we made a lot of noise. BTC Army. We're happy about new projects, and we're happy to support them, but this is ridiculous. I mean, blockchain, in the blockchain industry in general, not to be open source, and in Ethereum Classic in particular, is extremely ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, to be honest.
And the Hebe wallet, if that is not open source, like Trust Wallet or MetaMask, I downloaded Hebe wallet to check it out. Seems like it's like a Trust Wallet, something like that. But I'm gonna halt all my testing and everything until they're open source. It's great that WeatherGarden is going to do this service, not to constantly inform and audit smart contracts and inform that at least they meet a minimum checklist. No, that's great, because people like me I am not on the technical side. I'm more on the business side. Sometimes we miss these things, and I really missed the fact that Hebe is not open source.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to, unless you know what you're looking for, it's really difficult to tell if something's legit or not. It's somewhat ironic given the trustless nature of this system, or at least its supposed trustless nature. There's always going to be someone that you're referring to.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's anything else that anyone wanted to talk about, now is the final call. And if not, we're going to wrap up. So thanks for joining us, everyone. It's been another fruitful conversation, and looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Thanks for taking part, and this call has been recorded and will be uploaded for everyone else to listen to afterwards. So thanks for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stora and bro. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.